welcome. You might remember from my last video I poured these as extras because I had a plan for them. I'll include that bit next to show you me pouring them. Righty ho, I'm filming this bit separate because this is actually for another video. I've got my mushroom there, which you'll have already seen at this point. But I want to make a little mould, a little stand. So I thought, it doesn't matter what colour it is at this point, I could always paint it. Rather than waste it, I'll use it for something I'm going to actually make. So I'm filming this so that you can see it made. I hope that makes sense when I come to do the other video, because I do appear to have overfilmed it. Overfilled. This is why I make a mess, you know, because I'm just, yeah, I've definitely overfilled that. So I do think that is meant to have the hole. Honestly, it can't take me anywhere. I'm like chaos on legs, me, I swear. Right, so, yeah, that's better. Hopefully. Could be finger marks everywhere. Oh, no, my mat. Don't go on the mat. Okay, so I think possibly that one's meant to be the same. I should have checked beforehand, but I don't do anything as logical as that. Of course not. Oh, what have I just done there? Honestly. Get out. Probably a dog hair. Well, the dog's sitting on my knee before I come up. Right. The joy of pets, eh? Don't you just love making a mess? I claim to not, but you know what? I do. It's half the fun. It's like being a big kid again. Right, so I'm going to demold them initially. Hopefully I won't break them. So that's the base, that's the top. And my plan was, let me get this out first. Ooh, come on. Plan was to put it all together and sit there on the top as a candle holder. Now, all I've got left to do is the middle bit. You know what? It's so thin. I'm going to try it with UV and see what happens. If I just do it in a few thin layers, I think it should work. Okay. I'm using my craft resin today. UV. I'm just going to put a bit in here. Oops. Already spilling it. Just going to do it layer by layer. Always make a mess. My new mat, no. Do not do this to me. Right, so in that I'm going to put decisions. Marabou alcohol ink in Diamond Sparkle. Now, as I've learned from many times using this, you do not need much, and I really do tend to overcompensate. So not so much today. 2 little drops. Now, I'm sort of tempted to do a colour, but you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it clear because I'll put in there's some like details on it which I can probably pick up on. So I'm just going to pour a very thin layer initially. Oh, hair escaping. Honestly, I'm molt all the time. I'm terrible. So I'm just going to put a little bit in because I don't want to make it so that it won't cure. But I do want to cover the whole base initially. I mean, I'm pretty confident that it'll probably just cure anyway with it being clear, but because this stuff from craft resin is brilliant, and it sets really hard as well. It's quite a hard resin, which is great for things like this, because obviously this is going to be in the middle of the candle holder and it will be holding the weight. So oops, nearly. There we go, get in there. So I think that looks pretty much bubble free. So I'm going to cure that under my lamp. I poured what was left when I'd done with the glitter. Now all I'm going to do now is just put clear in, top it up, because I don't want to OD on glitter. Check me out, not ODing on glitter. I'm hoping this will work and I don't fuse it to the mould, because UV resin does get quite hot, so you've got to be careful. But I think it'll be okay. I think. And I pray. Oops, I've just tipped it too much there. Okay, that's done now. Pretty sweet. It's very subtle, but I like it. I mean, it's nothing that can't be changed, you know me. Just check the fit. Yeah, I'll probably have to trim them a little bit. I always think as long as there's something in the way between the blade and my fingers, it'll be fine. I try and keep your fingers back. What I'll do, I'll get the thick bits off. I always think pink and copper looks pretty together. So I'm going to use my Let's Resin chrome marker in copper. Comes in a set like that. My good friend Tina from Pour Resin with Love bought it for me. She's such a love. So I'm going to try and fill in the detail, and then wherever I mess, I'm going to try and wipe off. That's a theory, anyway. Let's see if this works on that bit. So I'm just going to spray a bit on a tissue. Look at the state of my bottle. And just gently wipe over. And it should, yeah, it does, take off the excess. Brilliant. And just keep, whoops, dropping it in and making a mess, of course. But you know, what would it be if I didn't make a mess? As long as I get it in all the grooves, I'm quite happy. I wish I could get, somebody might know, if you can get like a good, like anything, like, can't even speak again. At least I haven't been so bad today. I've managed to articulate some sentences. But what I was going to say was, I wish they did these in a fine nib. I mean, I presume they do. There's other fine nib ones out there that I've tried and they just don't, they're just not on par with these. Or the J. Diction ones for the, just the sheer beauty of the colours, you know. I've never found one yet that's anything like this. So Let's Resin and J. Diction, if you're listening to this, not that you ever will, because I'm just a baby YouTuber. Bring one out with some nibs, fine nibs. This is the part where someone messages me and says, they've got them already, Susie. But, you know, I don't know. So I'm just putting it out there. I got more happy mail as well. Honestly, you people, I love yous to death. I'm not going to cry today. At all. I'm going to be good. I just got so overwhelmed the other day, and like I say, I've got a lot going on, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I'll start crying again. And you really don't want that. You're used to happy me, aren't you? I can't be going depressing you all. But I shall announce, I'll read out the message and everything once I get everything, because I only got part one of it and I've been told that there's more to come. You do spoil me, honestly. I like that. That's pretty. So I need to think now. There's a bit of a, I don't know what's going on the corner of that star. But, oh, it needs trimming some more. Oh, there we go. I might put something on the tips of the star and maybe outline this. Let's see what it looks like. Could be I'm making a terrible mistake because I have had to trim this a bit, so oh, I think that's actually really nice. I maybe should have waited until I put the thing in the base before I tried to do this. Oh, I can see there's a bit to be trimmed. That's fine. Like a pen, these pens do hide a multitude. Like if you've had to trim something and then usually, like obviously if you've trimmed or sanded, you end up with dull resin. Where with these, if you use these to edge, they're absolutely brilliant for covering that up. So you're not trying, especially in some areas, like you're not trying to try and coat resin on, you know, because it can be a bit of a pain. Because I'm trying my best. You know, I'm a fiddler. I'm terrible. A faffer, should I say. I'll fuss on with stuff and I'm impatient as well. So sometimes I'm making something and I'm like, oh, I need to get on. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it hasn't dried. And then I end up cursing because I've given myself twice as much work because I smudged it. Oops, I went on the front there. Because I end up smudging it or doing something that I have to correct. And then all for the sake of waiting 5 minutes just while something dries, or, you know, I'm a nightmare, put it that way. So I'll go around the outside edge and just carry on, trim the bits off that need trimming, and I'll be back. Right, so as you can see, the base is quite thick, so I think that'll be okay, but this is like wafer thin. And with it being AquaCast, I'm afraid that it might be a little bit too brittle. So I'm going to put this in, and I was originally going to put it in with the Bonding UV resin. But what I think I'll do for safety, I think I'll put a whole coat of UV here. So that it also doubles as a strengthening for this. Right, so I've just put a little bit of UV just along the edge just to hold it in place, because, and I also put some tape underneath just to stop it going through. So I'm just going to do the same again with the glitter, if I can find it. Honestly, is it just me, or does anyone else have like a literal black hole? I sit in the same spot, right? Oops, a bit too much there, but hey, nothing new for me. I sit in the same spot and I lose things all the time, and I think it can't have gone far, but you can guarantee I'll not find it until weeks later. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyhow, so I'll put this on. It doesn't really matter how glittery this one is, to be fair. So I'm just going to pour this on, because I'll probably end up putting some clear on anyway, to be fair, because there's not much here. But I'll spread this out initially, and then I'll put some clear on and just blend it in. And that should be strong enough to hold the weight of the candle that I'm going to put on this. Yeah, so I think because it's got AquaCast in between it, it should be fine. So you take it to the edges and you just flick like so. And when you do that, you're keeping your surface tension. And then it will start retracting back if there's not enough resin. But as long as you've... Oh, flick too hard there. You know what? Sometimes I wasn't concentrating there. You're supposed to just flick lightly, like so, not in a good swipe like I've just done. What I tend to do, especially if I only want it thin, I'll put it on and just leave it for 5 minutes and let it settle, and then you'll see if any sort of holes appear that you need more resin, basically. But I stay away from the sides whenever possible, unless something does need just adjusting. So I can see there's a gap where there's nothing, so I'll just put a little blob in, let that settle, just let that level out, and just keep doing that until you're happy. Okay, same again with the base. I'm going to stick some tape over. Now I've made the hole slightly bigger because when I tried to fit it in, it wasn't sitting straight, so it needed like adjusting to sit straight. It was sort of like sitting on a bit wonky. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is put the UV and cure it in place before I try and do anything else. Make sure it's straight and cure it at the same time. Fun. Right, that's stuck into the base as well now. So same again, I'm just going to pour the glittery resin around. So again, bringing it to the edges. I'll put in the description. Easy, plain, simple, whatever. It's never that. I can just never leave stuff alone. I'm terrible. So I'll get that cured, and then we'll decide what we're doing around here and also the top. I mean, that is just going to get sealed because obviously it'll have a candle in. So I'll get that cured now and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to prepare the pot because I've got a bit more to do to this, but I'm preparing the pot for now so that can be drying. I'm using the Create and Bloom finish, and I'm going to just seal it with that. Because like I say, I want this to be drying while I'm doing. I've sanded the bottom so it's smooth, but I'm not going to put the sealant on the bottom because I want it to stick. So I'm just going to go around, quickly seal that. I know some people prefer a sponge, but to be honest, I like brushes. I tend to smooth it in. I don't know why I've got gloves on. I tend to smooth it in with my fingers anyway, a lot of the time, because it is very forgiving. So we'll put that to one side. The state of me thing, I need to clean it. I'm not going to seal the top either because I have a plan for that. Okay, I was going to go all pretty and flowery, but then I thought, nah, that wouldn't be me, would it? So I thought, because it's a moon, I've got these lovely chunky moonstones. Now I'm aware because it's pink, they're not going to show that much, but hopefully I can do something with them to make them look pretty. Now I've put a little bit UV resin there for now, and I'm just going to randomly put some stones on. I might leave some gaps in between and do something, I'm not sure. But for now, I'll just put these on. I'm not touching the resin. So I'm just going to carry on going round doing this. I don't even know if you can see. Looks a bit boring at the minute, but it won't be when I'm finished, I hope. I'll be back soon. Okay, I've done the base. I've put sort of big moonstones on. So what I'm doing now, I'm just going to blob some of this glittery UV about. Don't know if you can see there. Oh, I've just spilled some. And all I'm going to do is sprinkle some of these really pretty little crystals on the top and see what sticks. don't know if it's going to obliterate them or not. Not sure. But just give it a more crystallized effect. Okay, I've gone all the way around. I'm just brushing off the excess stones now. Picking some off because where the UV is dribbled, I don't want it there. It looks very pretty. And I know, me doing pretty. I've done a few little pretty things lately, but I think because Halloween's coming, there's going to be lots of spookiness. So I thought, well, I'll have a last sort of hurrah at making something pretty. So I'm going to repeat that up the top once it is that, oh, it's sort of dry. Once that's on, I'll repeat that up the top. Now I'm looking at this moon and I'm thinking, well, I'm not sure if I like it now. So I'm thinking, shall I put crystals on that too? I mean, I always wanted to cover the stars anyway. I mean, I think of these right at the last minute, don't I? Oh, honestly, don't laugh at me thing there because it guards it from the getting set on the UV. So initially, I'm just going to put, because I wasn't happy with the tips of them stars, was I? So I'm just going to put random bits there for now. And sprinkle more on. And hopefully some will stick. But I mean, this would look so pretty, wouldn't it? Done in crystals all over. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me to stop. Oh dear. Oh, I can't seem to get them to sit on there. Get on. I take my gloves off when I'm putting crystals on because I just can't seem to do anything when they're on. I'll cure that and have a think. Okay, I've got a bit of a diamond explosion going on here, but what I've done, I've put a little bit round the base there and a little bit round that base, and I also went underneath. I'm going to glue the top on and see how I feel about the rest of it, because I'm not sure about that copper now. But what I might do, I'll go around the edges with copper before I put the stones on there. Obviously I can still do it here, it'll just be a bit more tricky. I'm just going to put a good amount on. Sort of round. And I'm hoping that'll be enough to hold it. I mean, by the time I get the UV and everything on it, it'll probably stay in place anyway. This is the 2-part stuff. You put the glue on initially, and then you spray it to activate, and then I think you've got to be pretty quick. Just check that that's even. Don't think I guessed too bad there, did I? Considering I had to be pretty quick, and that is set already. Crazy or what? So I'm going to do the same here as what I did down there. You've seen me do it there, so I'm sure you don't want to see me do it again. So I'll be back when I've finished that. As you can see here, I'm just going round before I put the stones on this time, because it was a bit of a nightmare on the bottom. Okay, the diamond explosion continues. I've been putting random bits of UV around the edges. Oh God. I've got diamonds everywhere. Oh dear. You just can't take me out. And I'm just throwing them on just to give it a bit of something extra around the edge. I don't know quite what, but I've smudged this all over the show. So I'm going to get that cured. I'll clean this up and I'll be back. Okay, I've trimmed down a cork coaster now. It's not perfect, but you know what? It'll do. just to take the roughness and the mess off the bottom, because obviously that's where the UV came through. Just tidies it up that little bit more, if I can ever get the back off. Because state of me hands, honestly, I'm such a slop. These nails, I put these nails on, you know, so they look nice on my videos, but they're not practical sometimes. So I'm just going to put it sort of in the middle. That's better. And it just gives it a smooth edge to stand on. Okay, I blobbed a bit of UV by accident and I didn't like the way it looked. So I'm just going to add some more. This is turning out nowhere how I wanted it to. But it is what it is. Some might consider it a bit over the top, I'm not sure. But you know what? Sometimes when you're making stuff, they just evolve. And like I've said a million times, I never know when I start something. I have a general idea, but then, you know, things might go wrong or whatever, and you have to adapt. In my case, yeah, I blobbed UV. I wasn't planning on putting anything in there, but I have now. And it probably looks totally OTT, but you know what? I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm definitely leaving it alone now because I've only just cleaned up these diamonds and here they are again. So I'll get that cured and I'll be back for the final bit. Okay, that's it. It's done now. Very bling. Got the copper around and the copper inside. I felt like I needed to tie this copper in with something because it was starting to look a bit odd with the pink and the crystals. Yeah, like I've said before, some might think it's a bit OTT, but you know what? I know someone who'll absolutely love this because she loves bling. So I'll put a candle in, and this was just sealed, as you know, so I can put a real candle in that. I'll get it, I'll get a candle in and I'll show you the pictures. Oh, see, smudged again. You can't take me anywhere. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. It ended up being totally different to what I wanted, where I started anyway. But thank you to all my subscribers and everyone who stuck by me. I appreciate you all so much. It's free to subscribe if anyone would like to. And I would really appreciate it because it does help our channels, especially us small creators who are just trying to get out there. So bye for now, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the pictures.